So if you stop by this video, you're probably just as excited as I am to check out Native Instruments' new library, because not only is it a new library, but it's a session instrument. So let's get into it. That's right, we get to check out Native Instruments' new session library with the upright bass. If you don't know me, I'm Phil, producer-songwriter, and I do a lot of reviews, whether it's plugins or gear, and then some production tutorials. So if you like that sort of thing, you know what to do. But let's jump right into this new plugin. So first, I'll let you hear some of the presets. All right, so here we are with the initialized preset for the upright bass here. I'll walk you through just a little bit of the interface here so we can get right into just making some music. So if you have a complete controller, you're going to love how it's mapped out. Of course, everything is easy at your fingertips here. A couple things I do like. So the mod wheel here is connected to the vibrato, so that is helpful. And then the pitch bend wheel is connected to this little impact slider. So listen how it changes this up, which is awesome. It sounds great. All right, we can push down here to the bass settings, and then we can adjust some of the microphones and essentially just kind of start fixing how we want it to sound and sit within our mix inside of our productions. I'll give you a preview of how these sound. Moving over to the amps and effects, of course, now we have a whole effects chain here where we can add and just further dial in that sound that we want. But as you know, I'm a presets guy. And then lastly, over here on the playback is where we can adjust the performance and the timing and a couple other parameters here. So something, especially on this type of instrument or any of the session instruments, I really like to go in to the performance and adjust how much of the humanized aspect. Because if I'm using one of these instruments, I'm probably wanting a more human feel. So listen to this. So you can see as we push it to the original, the timing was just ever so slightly off, but just enough to let you know that, you know what, there's an actual human playing this. And then another thing I love is this feel. So now you can have this bassist really driving the rhythm. So either I can have a little bit more of his impacts on the downbeat or a little bit more on the offbeat, and it just really sounds awesome. Check this out. Or maybe we want it on the offbeat. And then when we move over here to the tempo, we can do it half speed. And of course, that is tied to the tempo that I have set in Logic, which currently is at 120. Here's double time. Now, something I always change is this pattern sync. So what I want is it to reset the pattern every single time I press a new key. Now you may not want that, but if you don't change that, what you'll find is oftentimes I start recording on measure 2 of Logic. And so if I don't change that, as soon as I press and wanting the pattern to start right then when I'm pressing on measure 2, it's going to start a measure deep within the pattern. So if you don't want that, that's where you change it. So that's why I'm going to change it from sync to host to start on key. Moving over here, we can change it from playing the phrase to just a one note or one pitch. So if you remember, the phrase was like this. So where one pitch will be helpful is maybe I don't want that specific melody, the dun 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 dun. Doing one pitch will allow that same rhythm, but allow me to play the melody. So maybe I want something like this. So I had that rhythm, but then I was able to play the melody. So it's super helpful. When we double click a pattern here, now we can go in, and if there's something I have in mind, there's a few ways I can find it. One, I can just mosey on through here. Another thing I can do is I can draw in a rhythm and then it can align some for me. There's just something random. And then when I move over here, I can see how similar these are to my pattern. Now I put a pretty obscure pattern, so there's none too similar, but let's see what we got. So maybe that's close to what I want. I can click similar now to that one and then get some more that are a little closer to that. One reason I like doing it this way is these are actual articulated patterns played by an actual bassist. So I'm not a bassist, so I can get something in here that I really like and then have someone play it a lot better than I would. The way I really like finding a rhythm is tapping it out on the keyboard here. So I can click record here and tap that. So there it is. And now you can see that there are quite a few, I guess, that it thinks are similar. Not quite what I was going for, but I really like that. So let's stick with this. So now we can click it over to one pitch. And then I can change the chord by actually playing the chord on the piano here. So if I play the C major here, and then C minor. So let's go get to the fun part. Let's go produce something together. So there's Session Bassist Upright Bass. And so I'm going to show you that production in one walkthrough. But if you'd like to check this out for yourself, I'll leave a link down in the description below. It doesn't cost you anything extra, but it does support the channel. But until next time, I'm Phil. keep creating music.